fascinating stories. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Of this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It is about his own son. It is about his own boy who was born medically deaf but spiritually ready to hear the world. So that sounds crazy, huh? How you can be medically in a certain condition, but spiritually predisposed to overcome that condition, or maybe to be extraordinary in that condition. And that is something that has been happening in earth since the beginning. Miracles has been happening all around us, and things happen in hospitals every day that we don't have any scientific rational medic explanation of how that was possible. And that is what we call miracles. And in the case of Napoleon Hill's son, this was a miracle. According to Napoleon Hill, his son was born without the hearing system. So he didn't have any organ that was connected to his brain directly. Therefore, he was deaf. But Napoleon Hill said that he did three things, or well, he basically practiced all the principles he teach in his book Think and Grow Rich, but mostly three or four principles he practiced them with his son every day in order to change, modify, and create a new reality. One of the things he did, as we discussed yesterday in our first episode of this mini series about the principles of thinking and growing rich, is that he awakened the desire inside himself for his boy to hear. He started desiring that his boy will hear. And as I explained to you yesterday, desire is the first step of every achievement in life. You need to have a strong, powerful, all encompassing desire of what you really want if you are going to push through all the obstacles that will try to distract you or to disrupt your goal and your results. So he first awakened the desire that his own son will hear. Then he maintained the principle that we are going to be discussing today. He maintained his faith, unwavering, unmutable, unshakable faith. A faith, a strong conviction, a powerful belief, extraordinary certainty that his boy will hear someday. So he didn't only awaken his desire, he combined that desire with faith. And that is powerful. When you do that, you will become a very powerful individual in your life. The third principle that he used was the principle of autosuggestion. And that is the principle I think that we are going to discuss tomorrow in our next episode of this mini series. So he started telling his son while the son was sleeping that, hey, you can hear, you have the ability of perceiving sounds, you can achieve everything that you want. And he started brainwashing his son while his son was sleeping. Why he did it while the son was sleeping? Because obviously, while you are sleeping, you are more susceptible to receive messages to your subconscious mind. That is the part of your mind that you don't control, that have 99% of the power of your whole mind. You see, what we are conscious of, our conscious mind, that is just a little mind. That is just the tip of the iceberg. And psychologists, philosophers, coaches, they know these signs 2000 years ago, maybe more, maybe more. But the subconscious mind is a very powerful concept that is fundamental in personal development. Okay? Because basically you are treating yourself like if you was a machine in which there's some things about you that you can become or turn automated like a machine. Your subconscious mind, it is the part of your mind that you want to automate or to be or to transform into a result driven machine in order for you to achieve without too much effort. Because if you let all the power for that part of your mind that already have all the potency, well, you will, your ego, your conscious self, you just only need to surrender and navigate that direction that your subconscious mind is already working for you. So it's a very strong, fundamental subject in personal development, in psychoanalytical psychology, in Jungian psychology. Most psychologists, we work with the subconscious mind. We talk to the concept to the subconscious mind. We give images to the subconscious mind. We interpret dreams, fantasies, visions, hallucinations that comes from the subconscious mind. And that is our everyday work. So you as a personal development junkie, you should be working with your subconscious mind every day by affirmations, with self suggestion, by listening to tapes while sleeping, um, by doing art that you can then analyze that art and make assessment of your own subconscious mind. There's a lot of techniques, meditation, visualization. I mean, there's a lot of techniques of for working with your subconscious mind. You just need to do the research and to practice them. And we will touch some of them in this episode and in the next one. All right. But at the end of the day, you need to do your own research. That is the sacrifice of growing. So he also, and I think this is fascinating, and I will be applying this with my own daughter. He started to designing and writing little stories because he used to read to his son while his son was sleeping. And you may say why he was reading to his son. His son was deaf. So why you will waste your time reading to someone that medically cannot hear you? But remember, in Napoleon Hill's mind, his son was not deaf. He has he had a strong conviction that his son will be able to overcome his biological boundary or limitation. So he just treated his son normally. He didn't establish in his own mind the self image that he was deaf. Because as soon you establish a self image with a certain meaning in your own mind, dude, that's over. That will become your reality. Self image, that is reality. The limits of your mindset become the limits of your realities. So he didn't dare to put in his son mind the idea that he was not able to hear. It was not there. So he just treated normally. He's he speak it to him. He speak to him. He read stories at bedtime, and he designed stories that help his son to gain confidence to hear for the first time, to develop the ability of hearing. So the designing of the stories, the plot of the stories was always an optimistic one, was always one about a boy or a man that overcome his boundaries, his limitation, his perceived problems. So he was brainwashing the subconscious mind of his son. And also another thing that he did was to do that persistently, with persistence. Although his boy didn't hear anything in the first year, maybe he did some things like he was giving some signals that he was hearing. For example, Napoleon Hill says that whenever he talked to him in the base of the skull, like in the back of the skull, his son did some movement that appeared as he was hearing. So that gave him more confidence, more faith, more desire, more persistence. But it was not like a very uh, extraordinary signal. It was just a little bit. It was just a little bit. But that little bit was sufficiently, was enough to maintain his persistence in continuing elaborating that subconscious mind, preparing that brain to hear, although biologically was impossible. So he maintained his desire, maintained his faith, maintained his self suggestion, and maintain his persistence. Those four elements, that those basically are different episodes of this mini series, he applied them with his own son. And long story short, one day, another, let me just tell you another thing. Another thing that he did also was to fight with every teacher that they wanted to maybe put his son in the special room or in the classroom for people that have special needs. He didn't let them. He always say to the teacher, to the principal of the school, my boy, he will hear, he's normal. He needs to be treated like everyone else. And that was pretty amazing. Again, he was trying for that self-image of limitation to not develop in his mind. So the boy, in his own mind, he will say, okay, I'm normal. I'm here with everyone else. And although he was a little bit slower, although he needed a little bit of extra help to understand the materials, he was doing just fine. He went to the university and he was a professional after that. But the day Napoleon's Hill realized that his boy was hearing was the day that they experimented with some musical instruments, and you know his boy his boy's eyes was so bright, they were like suns. Amazed, surprised with that specific sound of music. And that was the day that Napoleon Hill said, it was all worth it. My boy is listening. He may be not listening as we all do, but he's listening in a certain way. That is a powerful story. And it's a story about faith. So maybe you have your own biological limitation. Maybe you have your own economic limitation. Maybe you have your own psychological limitation. But all of those can be destroyed by the all penetrating faith in the opposite direction of the limitation. And today, in this episode, I will teach you everything that you need to know in order to develop a powerful, convincing, creative, inventive, and manipulative, because with that you can manipulate reality, faith. Welcome to the episode 475 of the Mastermind Podcast Challenge. Season 2 with your host, Dr. Derek Israel. And we are basically in a mini series of the book that changed not only my life, but the life of millions of individuals in the whole world. Almost a 100 years old book, Think and Grow Rich, in Spanish, Piensa y hazte rico, of Napoleon Hill. So if you haven't read this book and you are like, watching this series by chance, by randomness, or maybe because you are interested or thinking about reading it, dude, read it today. Like, start reading it today. You can read it in one day. It is not that too long, but read it, start maybe one chapter a day. In the book, Napoleon Hill recommends to read it one chapter per day. So maybe you can start with the introduction today. You can find this book in Amazon in all the language. You can find it by free in Google. You can download the PDF. You can find it in YouTube as an audio book. You can find it anywhere. It's an old book. and it's one of the most powerful book of personal development of all time. I think it is the most powerful, and I have been reading more than 1,000 of books, maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000 of books in my life, and this is my first pick all the time, forever. I haven't find anything like this in my life, so that's why I'm doing this mini series. And I if this is the first time that you are seeing my face and this project, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, Derek Israel, or to any of the stations in with this podcast, the Mastermind podcast. It is uh, launched, like for example, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast. Just subscribe to the station if you want more subjects around spirituality, personal development, psychology, and business development. So I have a little announcement before continue on. Um, if you go to my YouTube channel, you will notice that for now on, starting yesterday, I will start uploading new interviews with very interesting people. One of the things that I realize is that I need to socialize more. Um, I am I have been in the last few years very isolated, just researching, meditating a lot, doing a lot of internal work to transform my life, for being able to transform thousand, even millions one day of life around the world. So I have been very isolated and lonely in my pursuit of greatness. So I realized that I need to come back and do more interviews. So in 2020, I did a couple of interviews in a series that I called Splits. And then I stopped. I don't know why. Maybe it was not the right time to continue doing that. But now I feel that it's the right time to bring to my project different individuals that have powerful perspectives, diversity in perspectives, and I think it will be worthwhile discussing with them. So I encourage you. Some of them will be on Spanish because they are Spanish speakers. Some of them will be on English, but I encourage you just to check it out. Check the ones that you resonate with the title. Maybe you resonate with the description, and just listen to the conversation, because you will transform your life by listening to other people's ideas. Also, yesterday I uploaded my first interview. It is called in Spanish Descubriendo la matriz lógica de la realidad. In English, it's a very difficult thing of how can I translate that. Basically, is discovering the the logic matrix of reality, right? And this is a concept that Sergio Forest is a Spanish individual, a Kabbalist, artist, philosopher. He has been developed. He has been developing this construct of the matrix of reality for a couple of years now. And it's a very interesting concept. You should check that out if you understand Spanish language. So just go to my YouTube channel, go to the recent videos, and you will see that video. So this week I have a couple of interviews scheduled, maybe two or three, maybe two, but I am continuously in the pursuit of interesting people to invite, to chat a little bit about life, and how to improve life, how to design a better life, right? So that is the announcement. Check that out. So let's go to the subject of today. Remember, if you are seeing this episode as a video, not only as an audio, you will benefit of all the captions or all the quotes directly of Napoleon Hill's mind that will appear on the screen. So if you want to benefit of the quotes, just go to YouTube and type Faith, Derek Israel, Think and Grow Rich, and just watch the video because, those quotes are very powerful. And I will be not reading them. I just will be talking and they will be appearing here on the screen in the below. All right. All right. So let's get right into it. So yesterday we discussed desire. And desire is fire. Desire is the first principle that make everything possible. Remember, this mini series, you need to have something in mind that you will achieve with this mini series. If you are only hearing this passively, you are not doing this right. To do this right, you need to have a goal. You need to have a desire to that goal, and you need to apply every principle, the 10 principles that I will be discussing each in his particular episode, and you need to apply that towards that goal in order to have feedback, in order to have a model of how you are proceeding. Because if you are only intellectualizing this, you will forget it. It will not work. You need to apply it. You need to be pragmatical in your pursuit of success, of greatness, of wealth, of happiness, whatever you are pursuing. So remember, establish a goal if you haven't, and also start by desiring that goal with all your might, with all your power. And now the second step, it is that you need to cultivate, maintain, and grow your faith. Your faith. This is the second principle. But, Derek, what is faith? You know, like in Puerto Rico, they say, coqui, coqui, coqui. Coqui is a very small type of, it's like kind of a frog that is only available, I think, in Puerto Rico and I think in another country. I don't know if it's Jamaica. I think it is Jamaica, and they do this pretty pretty amazing sound. I was in Puerto Rico a couple of days ago developing some businesses back in my hometown, and I was hearing the cookies, and they do like cookie, cookie. And in Puerto Rico, whenever you have like a random silence, people say cookie, cookie. Right. Anyways, what is faith? What is faith? Well, faith is a strong conviction. It is a powerful certainty. It is more than a belief. It is a destiny. It is inevitable. It is something that will happen, and you are perfectly sure that it will happen. Faith is craziness. You should be crazy if you want to design and to elaborate maximum levels of faith in your life. Because if you only develop your faith in proportion of what you see, you will develop a very small, very weak type of faith. And that's why I say you need to be a little bit crazy to maintain an exponential faith. Because It will be a faith, it will be a certainty, it will be a strong conviction around something that not necessarily you are seeing the proof of that or the evidence of that in your real life. In the story about Napoleon Hill's son, what is the evidence? The evidence was that he didn't have an organ to hear. He didn't have ears. That was the evidence. But what was his faith? His faith was that he will be able to hear one day. He will overcome. Although that was not represented in his external reality. And that is the whole trick of faith. Faith is a test. It is a continuous test. It is a continuous renovation of your forces. Every day, you should work in your faith. Because as the law of entropy says, every day your mind is disorganizing itself. Every day your mind is like disrupting his own structures. So faith, it is the mechanism that you continuously try to redirect your mind into a single point, into a singularity of aim in order to achieve great things. And that is something that you need to do every day of your life. It is a constant struggle. I don't care what is your faith level today. It will not be the same tomorrow because you are a dynamic being. So this is a fight that you will fight every day. You will ask and you will evolve and you will pursue more levels of faith every day by your own means, and you will develop your means. For example, reading, thinking, and grow rich, for me, it is a way that I cultivate my faith. Every time that I just open one of the books of this book, and you can see I have notes all over it. If you are seeing this in the video, I am showing the book, and I have highlighted notes. Because I devour this, and every time that I read this book, I develop more faith. And it doesn't have to be the faith chapter. It may be the desire or the specialized knowledge, or maybe the chapter about the mastermind. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter. It is the right word. It just gives me faith. Every time that I read the Bible, it gives me faith. Every time that I pray, it gives me faith. Every time that I meditate, it grows my faith. Every time that I do yoga, it grows my faith. Every time that I do affirmations, visualization, every time it grows my faith. So those are my techniques. Those are my tools. But you will develop yours in your own life. So faith, it is a state of mind, of inevitable conviction that something will happen. In contrast, sometimes, not always, but sometimes it can be in contrast with the evidence. Sometimes will be synergistic with evidence. For example, you may have faith that you will um, have your own house. That is a dream that a lot of millennials are developing right now, right? I am a millennial and I am 27 years old. So I have a lot of relationship with people that are like 25, 26 until 30. Those are my peers. And I see in Facebook, Instagram, a lot of people searching for houses or celebrating when they buy their first house. And I know that that is a desire that a lot of people have. I do not have that desire in my life that much. I have another things in mind, but that is something very common. And maybe for you, if you are looking for a house, you are already seeing deals. Maybe you are already checking some houses and you are talking to your bank and your bank is promising you the loan. You are uh, fulfilling every requirement that the bank asks you to bring you the loan. So in this case, the evidence, it is synergistic with your faith because you have faith that you will have your own house very soon. And look, reality is giving you signals, it giving you circumstances that are basically saying to you, you are on the right path. You will you will own your own house very soon. So faith, it can be synergized by reality or it can be tested by reality. In this same sample, if you are looking for a house and you have that state of mind of absolute certainty that this will happen, there is no way, there is no way that you will not achieve owning your own house. But maybe reality is testing you. That is the other opposite side, right? Maybe the banks are not very sure that they will give you a loan. Maybe you don't have the perfect credit. Maybe right now in our current times in 2022, the house market is very expensive, at least in America, United States, Puerto Rico. I don't know if this is something that is global. I accept that I don't have like a lot of real estate knowledge yet, although that is an industry that I will be studying a lot very soon because I'm very interested uh, as an investor, not as an owner. Um, but I don't know if this apply to everywhere in the world, but in America right now they are very expensive. The prices of housing. And maybe that is a test for you. Maybe the banks are not returning your calls, your credit is not that good, and the house market is all over the roof. And you still need to maintain your faith, right? And it's more difficult than when reality was on your side, but the principle is the same. You need to continue growing your faith, nevertheless. That is just part of what it needs to be done. So maybe you are saying, Derek, that sounds very good. I understand what is faith now. I understand this is a state. This is a state of my mind, of my heart, of my spirit. This is a state in which I am convinced that I will achieve, that I will uh, gain, that I will be winning soon, that I will uh, have success in this endeavor. And I know, Derek, that I need to maintain that while there is test in life or while there is synergistic elements in life. It doesn't matter, I need to maintain, but how I do it, how I maintain this state of complete certainty on my life, on my goals, on my pursuit. What are, Derek, the specific tactics, tips, hacks, programs secrets for maintaining this type of faith. So let's go right into this. So the first thing, and some of them are discussed in Think and Grow Rich, and some of these techniques maybe they are not so discussed, but I will discuss them anyways because it works for me and it has been working for my clients in coaching, clients in psychotherapy, since I have been working in this industry. Like 5 years, I have been working in this industry. So the first one is autosuggestion. All right. And this one, we will work with that tomorrow. But basically, this is the way that you influence your subconscious mind. So by repeating certain affirmations, by visualizing, by doing everything that you can do to hack your own subconscious mind, this will transform itself into faith. More advanced than this, it is the fact that you can conceptualize faith as certainty in your subconscious mind. If your conscious mind have faith, but your subconscious mind do not have faith, your faith is very weak. The real faith that you need to develop, it is the faith of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind need to believe that you will achieve. If you want your subconscious mind to give you the resources, the ideas, the motivation, the psychological resources necessary to achieve. If you want your subconscious mind to give that to you, your subconscious mind need to believe that will be worth it, that you will achieve, that in the end of the day, your subconscious mind will be able to do a party celebrating your achievement. And this is a very difficult thing to do because in your subconscious mind is also where you have all your limiting belief and all your traumas and and all your negative emotions, like your cyclical negative emotional patterns. Your subconscious mind, it is the root of your neurosis. It is the root of your depression, of your anxiety, of your trauma, of your addictions. Scary, huh? And that is exactly the system that you need to hack in order to have an unshakable faith. More on that tomorrow. I cannot give you all the tips of autosuggestion because if not, I will not have anything new to provide you in the next episode. So, more of that tomorrow. Another technique that I really use, and Napoleon Hill talks about this in the book also, is praying. So if you're a Christian and you are listening to this, I know that I have a lot of Christians, religious people that listen to my podcast. And I am very proud of that because I know that I am not the most dogmatic guy of the world. I am the total opposite. I talk about Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, uh, magic. I speak about a lot of different spiritual systems, and the fact that some Christians, not everyone, but some Christians give me the opportunity to enter to their hearts, although I am not extremely Christian or dogmatic in that sense, that is a very special thing for me. So thank you. If you are a Christian and you are listening to the Mastermind podcast, although sometimes can be a little bit uh shocking to your own religious ideas, I just want to say thank you. And for me, it's an honor to be in your life. And this applies to Muslims, also to everyone. Anyways, so if you're a Christian or Islam or Islamic, you will pray a lot. this is like the tool, right, for union. Praying is the tool for manifestation. Praying is the tool for healing, right? But praying is the tool also for faith development. I will repeat that. Praying, or to pray, it is a tool for faith development. And I want to ask you, how many times per day do you pray? How many times per day do you pray? I remember when I was in India, I think, in Kashmir, that state of India, that place, that city, amazing place. You should go to Kashmir. And there, 5 times per day, they, in the middle of the town, they did like this communication. I don't know what technology they used, but everyone in town was able to hear like a voice, like in a big megaphone or microphone. I don't know exactly how they do it, but suddenly we start hearing a person praying, and everyone, not everyone, but the most faithful believers of the Islamic religion, 5 times per day, they used to uh, pray. As soon as the voice starts speaking out of nowhere, and it was heard in a radio that covered the entire city, um, most of them just go to their knees and start praying, right? And they did like for 5 minutes, and then they continue their day. So that happened maybe in the morning, then in the middle day, then in the afternoon, then in the night, and then maybe before sleeping. I don't remember exactly the times, but, and I asked a Muslim individual, hey, what is this all about? And he told me, well, that is a reminder that we need to pray at least 5 times per day. That is a reminder, that is our alarm, that we need to submit to Allah, to God, to the universe. We need to submit to Allah. We need to be a slave of Allah in those 5 times per day, because if we don't have this habit, we forget. And if we forget to pray, then God will remove his blessing from us. And that for me was very interesting. And I think that is very pragmatic to establish. Maybe you don't need to pray 5 times, but maybe 2 times or 3 times per day. I am doing it like 2 times per day, maybe three in a good day. For example, when I woke up today, before I went to the shower, before I design all the podcasts that I will be discussing today, that I'm discussing now with you, I pray for 5 minutes. I put my alarm. It was 3 a.m. It was 3:10 a.m. and I put my alarm to 3:15, and I just stay in my bed and I just pray. And then I became more excited to come here and to do this. So if you are feeling my energy a little bit more penetrating today, well, because I have this word. I have this sword. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. The sword, like the weapon of the warrior, on my heart. I have the blade of God in my heart because I pray for it. I beg for it. And one of the things that I have been learning about praying lately, this is a this is like a more advanced technique, is that whenever you pray, and I don't care what is your religious belief, and I don't care even if you are an atheist, you can still pray. Because as Napoleon Hill discussed in the book, praying is just talking to your subconscious mind. So you don't have to believe in a God to pray. If you believe in a God, good. Pray to God. If you believe in a glass that is the ultimate truth of the universe, good. Pray to the glass is not the right word. How do you say that? Let me just Google this. I just want to learn more English. Yeah, glass. Glass is the right word. I was confused. If you think that the glass is the ultimate truth of the universe, well, pray to that. But at the end of the day, you are also manipulating your subconscious mind, because when you are praying, your thoughts are getting merged and fused with your emotion, specifically with your emotion of faith. And what that does is that penetrates your subconscious mind. In order to manipulate and penetrate your subconscious mind, you need to fuse every thought and every image that you think with an emotion. If you don't bring an emotion like happiness, like excitement, like fear, like surprise, like faith, like sexual energy, like love, like compassion, kindness, hope, if you don't bring those sapient feelings, those dynamic structures of experience towards the brain process, you will not affect yourself severely. And when you are praying, you need to impact yourself severely if you want to change your own infrastructure. And by changing your own infrastructure, you change the infrastructure of the world, because you are one with the world. By healing yourself, you heal the world. So you need to fuse your praying with emotions. You need to feel the pray. And that is one of the hacks that I was about to teach you. Fuse your praying with emotion. If you are not feeling a lot of emotions during your praying session, you are doing something ineffectively. Not wrong, you are still praying and you are still connecting, but to do it effectively, results drive it, you need to fuse it with emotions. Another technique that I have been learning about praying is that you need to beg, like if your your request will be never fulfilled. Because if you think that your request will be fulfilled, well, then you pray one time and that's it. Please, God, give me the ability of doing this and that, and that's it. But if you convince yourself that it doesn't matter how hard you pray, it will never be granted, that can brings one of two results. The first one is that you will say, well, forget it then. If that will not bring me any results, I will not do it. But that is just the victim mindset. That is just the loser mindset. Discard that. The other option is that you may say, okay, since never will be granted, I will then pray as crazy. I will just pray extremely. I will not cease. I will not quit. I will not remove myself of the play, of the game, of the praying game, of the spiritual game. And I will continue begging each day, each day, each day, each day, each day, as if I was trying to sell to God something that God will never buy. I love one book about selling. It is called, I have it here. It's on English. It is called Sales Dog, and this is a book about sales. And in this book, one of the things that the author always says is that you should sell when you're doing business, as the dog will always pursue the stick that you throw at him. So if you have a dog, or you had the opportunity to play with a dog, the game of you throw a stick into the air and the dog run with all the emotion, all the hope, all the faith in the world that the dog have in himself, that he will catch the stick and bring it to you. With that same emotion, you should pray as you are a dog pursuing a stick. Just notice how the dog have an extreme faith that he will be able to catch that stick. The dog is not doubting. The dog is not second thinking. The dog is not procrastinating the pursuit of the stick. The dog is right towards the stick immediately. As soon as you throw the stick, the dog is running, begging, pursuing the opportunity, pursuing his happiness, his values. That is the way that you pray, my friend. Like a dog pursuing a stick with all intense behavior, intention, action, propulsion, conviction, playfulness. Also, do not take too seriously your praying. You can joke a little bit in your praying, you can laugh, you can do some silly things. I mean, if God is too serious, I don't want that God. I want a God that is able to laugh. That's why I really like the representation of God in Dragon Ball Super. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, I am a fan of Dragon Ball. In the last series of Dragon Ball Super, they represented God like a child, like a this creature childlike. Let me share just the screen. Let me share real quick the screen with you, and I just will look here. I don't remember the name, but let me see if we can find this guy. So this is the guy, Xenos. It is called Xeno. So this is the god of Dragon Ball Super. It's like the god of all the universe. And if you see some of his, I encourage you to YouTube Xeno scenes on Dragon Ball just to see how he performed. But basically, he's a child. He's always laughing. He's always funny. He's always happy. And when you are praying, mix all the emotions. First tip, beg as it will never be fulfilled, as the dog pursuing the stick. And the last tip, don't take it too seriously. You can laugh with your process. You can have fun. You should have fun. Spiritual pursuit should be fun. The next tip is visualization. If you want to grow your faith, you need to visualize every day for a couple of minutes that you already achieved what you really want in life. And I knew this intellectually. But I think it was Saturday, last Saturday, I have a spiritual retreat in Puerto Rico. I have like this, maybe it was like a 40-hour spiritual retreat, and I did some techniques. And one of the insights that I had in that spiritual retreat, it was that, oh man, this is so powerful. You will spend years actualizing this truth in your life. It is that the process of things do not exist. And this is a thing that I should explain in an episode by his own. It will sound crazy right now, but what I mean by that is that manifestation is direct. We think about something as a process that needs to go in certain steps in order to be achieved, in order to be materialized. If we think about a pancake, for example, well, you say, if I want to eat a pancake, I need first to put the mass, I then put the milk, I then put the sugar, and then I put that into the how I say this word. Just give me 1 second. I am improving my English. You know, into the stove, and then you cook the pancake, then you take out the pancake and you put syrup, and then you have the pancake. All of those steps are the process, right? And you think that for you to eat a pancake, you need to do all those steps. Or in another strategy, you can just go to a McDonald's or to an IHOP and just ask a pancake, then you pay, and they give you a pancake. But notice how that is also a process. What I realized in this spiritual retreat, dude, is that that is not necessary. You can have a pancake like this without any process. And you may say, oh, Derek, that sounds so unreal. What the hell you did in that spiritual retreat? What you drank, boy? What you smoke, boy? That is crazy. If that was true, why you do not manifest a pancake right now? Just do it, Derek. Just right now in this video podcast. Come on, Derek. Come on. Manifest a pancake. Come on. You can do it, right? Well, it's not like that. This is a spiritual truth. In matter, in the physical world, yes, we need the process. We need the steps. But what I'm saying is that in the spiritual realm, process do not exist. In the spiritual realm, the manifestation is direct. It's crazy. What that means is that, for example, I will give you a concrete example. Maybe you have 18 years old right now, and maybe you want to be a lawyer. In the material world, you need to go to college, pass all the exams, and then you need to go to an university, a law university, and then you need to pass your licensing, and then by all that process, and you need to practice, you need to defend some cases, and you need to do this and that. And after that, you can consider, after maybe 8 years of struggle, a lawyer, right? That is in the material world, and that is a fact, the same as the pancake. But in the spiritual realm, right now, you are already a lawyer. Like that. It is already there. It is there. It is a thing. It is with the same reality as a metal, as a wood, as a anything that you see in the physical world. It is the same. It has the same degree of reality. I didn't become a doctor in psychology a couple of months ago when the university told me so. No. Well, yes, in the material social world. But I became a clinical psychologist as soon as one day I was playing PlayStation in my house. I had 17 years old, or maybe 18. I was waiting 2 months for starting my university journey because I was graduating high school. And one day I was playing PlayStation. I used to be a hardcore gamer, and I was thinking about my life that day, and I was thinking about all the things that people thought about me in those days. People thought about me that I was destined to be a drug addict, maybe uh, a person that will spend his entire life in prison, that I will be a criminal, that I will be a failure. Those were the things that people used to tell and to think about me in those days. And not without reason. Not without reason. I was wild. I deserved that. I was crazy, more crazy than I am now, in the sense that I was radical, rebel. 17 years old, Derek Israel. What do you think? Imagine that, right? Without structures of morality, without structure of self-regulation, without any psychological tool for self-healing. I was a disaster. Yes, I was a leader. Yes, I was charismatic as I am right now. Yes, I have virtues, but I was a pretty nasty man. And I was so nasty that in my prom, in my final like party of my graduation, a teacher told the entire school and parents, teacher, everyone else, every person, she told that I was destined to be a stripper. And no hard feelings to strippers. I love strippers. I think it's a very good profession. I have friends that has been stripper before. For me, it's all good. But I didn't want to be a stripper. That is not my dream. That is not my. I don't know how to dance. She just said that because of the stigma and the stereotype that brings telling a person you will be a stripper. And that happened to me in front of my parents in the special day of my prom night. So people used to think that I was going into a very nasty road in my life. And one day I was playing PlayStation, I was thinking about that. And that day I made a decision. That day I manifested directly. I didn't need the process. The process came afterwards. That day I decided, okay, I will become a doctor on psychology. And after that, I will change the world and they will see. And now that I think about it and I introspect about it, yeah, that was an egoic kind of thing, right? It was my ego, definitely, but it was so strong, my conviction and my faith in that synchronicity, in that specific instant, that it became a reality. 10 years after, I'm already a doctor. And now I'm on my way to change the world. I'm already changing the world, but I want to do it more potent. That is my determination. So when I became a doctor, when the university told me, hey, yeah, you're a doctor now. Or when I decided and spiritually made the fact that it was inevitable that I will become. So that's why I this weekend realized, oh my gosh, manifestation is instant, direct, and you don't need process. The other technique to grow in your faith, it is action. Taking action into that you have faith. By keeping this example of my journey becoming a psychologist, I didn't only manifested that in my spiritual realm, but I did take action. Like I enrolled in university. I studied for my exams. I was very responsible all the way. I didn't, I never, I think in my university career, miss a project or didn't deliver on time a project. I always did it in the right time. I was extremely resourceful and responsible. So those actions every day that I took reinforced my faith that I was on my way to physically becoming a psychologist. I already was a psychologist spiritually, but physically, socially. So take action. Take action. Faith without action is just fantasy. Faith with action is results. And that is a tweet that I will write after this one. Faith with action is results. Another technique for growing your faith is that you need to know the numbers. And what I mean by that is that you need to do the research and you need to know the details of the thing that you have a lot of faith into that. Because if you only have faith, but you don't know the numbers, you haven't done the mathematics related on how you will achieve, well, your faith is like a misinformed faith. It is not an informed, educated faith, right? So that is a very important thing. You need to know the numbers. You need to do the research. Another technique, and this is the last one that I will teach in this part of the podcast, is that you need to be leveraging from your results. So leverage is when you take impulse by another thing. So it's like a synergistic element. It's like you take velocity with other things. So whenever you are having results in your life, that can synergize your faith because you are getting results. But for getting results, you need first to um, have to act. If you don't act, you don't have results. If you don't have results, your faith cannot be cultivated by reality. So, yeah, be results driven. For example, in my own example, every time that I saw that I passed a class, that was a result that confirmed that I was already on my way to becoming a psychologist. Every time that I did a successful project, when I graduated from bachelor, then when I was accepted in the doctoral program, look, all those steps were results, mini results that gave me more hope, certainty, and faith in what I was doing. So if you want more faith, you need to have results. You need to stop procrastinating and you need to design a plan for action. Then you need to implement that plan by taking massive action And then you need to assess the results. And the results may be positive or negative. Either way, you can use that energy as the pig, that is the animal of transformation. Soon we are going to be discussing the pig in the mini series of spiritual animals that we have here in our mastermind podcast. So as the pig, you can transform every negative or positive stimuli or response into more faith. You can transmute that into faith. If it is a negative result, well, transform your pain into faith. And if you want more information about that, you can listen to the episode in English that is called Every Problem is an Evolution. Every problem is an evolution. And if the results are positive, well, it is obvious you will get motivated by that and you will cultivate more faith by that. So here is the most critical factors for an effective faith. And this is something that I have learned also recently. And this will change the whole faith game for you in the years to come. So listen to this. This is very important. The most critical factors for an effective faith is surrender and release. The most critical factors of faith are surrender and release. What the hell that means? Well, look, when we are trying to grow our faith, we believe that this is an effort. We believe that we need to strive. We believe that we need to propose. Wait a minute, I have a technical problem. My microphone got disconnected. Sorry, guys. All right. All right. Okay. So we are back. We are back. I hope that you didn't miss anything that I was saying. I don't have any way to know if you missed something. Sorry, guys. Anyways, um, what I was saying is that we believe that faith must be cultivated by effort, movement, and propulsion, but it's not like that. Yes, it is like that into a certain degree, but the real faith and the most powerful faith, it is the one that you feel without any effort because you already surrender. You already know that will happen. And when you already know that will happen, it is inevitable. So you are relaxed into the faith. You have serenity into your faith. You already released the sense of control of your faith. If you are trying to control in your faith, if you are trying to manage it extremely with extreme effort and struggle, your faith will lack flow. And flow is essential for faith because faith is like water. It needs to flow. It needs to move naturally. So, my advice to you for cultivating a more powerful faith is, yeah, pray a lot, visualize a lot, do all the things that I already recommend you, but at the end of the day, just release the pressure. At the end of the day, just surrender to what is. If it will become, it will become. If not, if well, not, will it will not. That's good. You know, you will not overthink about this. You will not over preoccupy, over worry about this. You just will surrender to the manifestation that will be. And when you are in that state, you become a priest. I don't know exactly how to say this word in English. Let me look at real quick. Prism. I don't know exactly if this is the word. In Spanish is prisma, prism. Yeah, prism. Basically, that is something that reflect light. And very soon I will be doing an episode about how to become that. So a prism is something that reflect light, like direct light. It is a medium for light. So light is blessing. Light is intelligence of God working through you. I will be discussing that in another episode. So when you surrender yourself, you become like a space. You become nothing. And when you are nothing, faith can work through you. But if you are something, you then become more like low resolution for light because you are with a lot of density, with a lot of identity, with a lot of ego, with a lot of control, and that disrupt and interrupt the perfect flow and channeling of light, of purpose, of happiness, of creation, of magic. So you need to surrender to anything. You need to let go. And then you will shine like a sun. And your sunlight, it is your faith that will vitalize everything in your universe. It will nurture every dimension, every dimension of your life. It will nurture your relationship, your health, your money, your creativity, your conviction, your spirituality, your yoga. Will nurture everything. So at the end of the day, if you want an effective faith, you need you need to surrender and release. Surrender and release. For example, one of the things that I am doing to surrender and release in my business, that I mix this with faith, is that I say the following affirmation every day. This following, it is like an intention slash affirmation. It is in Spanish. I say it in Spanish, but I will translate it. It is, I'm ready to receive the miracles of the universe. I will do my best, but at the end of the day, it's the market who decide. That is something that I say every day, every morning. What that means? That means surrendering. I am saying to the universe, hey, dude, hey, God, hey, destiny, hey, infinite intelligence, I'm ready to receive your miracle. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to receive your seed. I'm ready to become impregnated with blessings. I'm ready for it. I'm open. I'm receptive. I'm here. I deserve. And I will do my best. So I am affirming that I will act with the rightful action. I am not just expecting to receive. I will be proactively pursuing. I will do my best to receive, to manifest. But at the end of the day, it is the market who decide. And that is the surrender part. Because I always come here to the camera and I offer a product, I offer a service, I offer a video, I offer a podcast, I offer something that I want you to do. For example, in the first minutes of this episode, I told you, hey, go check that interview about, the logic matrix of reality with Sergio Forés. And that was a sale. That was an invitation. Some of you will do it, some of you don't. At the end of the day, you are the market, you are the customer, you decide. I can offer you every time here the meditation course that you can find in derekisrael.com. I can offer you every day the life purpose course, the sexual mastery course, the self-love course. And in the end of the day, you decide if you enroll or not, if you buy or not. The market, you decide. So that is a way of me saying, I will do my best. At the end of the day, the market decide. That is surrendering. So maybe you can apply this into your own life. Maybe you are not a businessman or woman, but you will find a way to implement this idea of surrendering. Also, I have an episode on my podcast that is called Surrender. It's on Spanish. But if you understand Spanish, just go to YouTube and search Derek Israel Surrender, and you will find that episode. So the last point that I want to discuss is that faith is spirituality. And that is kind of obvious, but understand, faith have different dimensions. We have a dimension of faith that is arrested in the symbolic word as a representation. So every time that you speak, you need to speak with faith, because every word is a symbol, and a symbol is an arrest of different signifiers or significance or meanings. That is the correct word. Signifier, significance. In Spanish, they make sense, but not in English. In English, it will be meaning. A symbol is an arrest of different meanings that are interconnected in a certain representation. That is language. Every word is a representation. So every time you speak, you need to speak with faith, because you are wording the faith. You are making a reality what you have faith for in your life. Also, faith have a psychological dimension, as I was telling you, in relation to how you can manipulate and hack your subconscious mind to have more certainty by doing the techniques that I will be teaching you tomorrow. But we discuss a little bit of visualization, affirmations, technique like that. But also, faith have a strong spiritual component that you can attribute that to God, to destiny, to the universe, whatever you want to, whatever you want to explain reality, that's on you. But for me, as I already told you, faith, it is the thing that manifests spiritually in my life. If I think something with extreme faith, I manifest it first in the spiritual realm without necessity of process, and then without delay, because matter is slow. Remember that episode on Spanish that is called El Laboratorio de tu Mente, the lab of your mind. In that episode, Nicolas Tesla teach us, me talking uh, in the by this, me talking, or that episode is basically an expression of Nikola Tesla ideas, that he says that it's more important to manipulate things in your mind than in matter, in reality, in physical reality, because in your mind it is easier. You can imagine, you can construct, you can manipulate psychic elements, and you can bring weird associations together, and then you can implement those random associations in matter, in the physical world, and you can create miracles by doing that. So for me, whenever I manifest in my mind first, then I manifest in reality, in the physical reality. It will go slower because we here have physical laws, but it will be inevitable. If you have the element of faith burning in your heart, combined with a specific desire, it will become inevitable. It will happen. But obviously, you need to complement this with strategic planning, with massive action, with feedback, and a lot of good stuff that I will be teaching you in the next 8 episodes of this mini series. So this is it, my friend. This is the faith uh, concept in this book, Think and Grow Rich. You have an assignment. You should be reading one chapter per day if you are doing the Mastermind Podcast Challenge. You don't have an excuse. I don't care if you already read it. I have been recommending this book since my first videos 5 years ago. This is not something new, but this is the first time that I'm taking the time to discuss it profoundly and deeply. And some of you already read it, because people write to me all the time. Hey, I read that, Think and Grow Rich. Thank you for the recommendation. So maybe you read it again. I read it every day. I assure you, you will learn a new thing every day, even if you read the same thing every day, because there's different degrees of understanding. That was the whole point of the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 1. That all ideas have different degrees of deepness, and you may understand a little bit about it, but every time you go back and study the material with all the new experience that you have, then you will develop a little bit more of mastery. And I am pretty sure that you haven't mastered your desire yet, your faith, your strategic planning, your decisiveness, your mastermind, your sexual transmutation. I am pretty sure that you haven't mastered everything that this book teach. So that's why you have a direct assignment to read or listen to one chapter of this book a day. It will be very convenient if you listen to the chapter that I already uh, that I am discussing in the moment, because in that way you will in the same day receive my information and Napoleon Hill's perspective. We are different human beings, and we have different value proposals, and we can do different things for your life. So start today. Do not procrastinate this. This is a direct challenge. And this is something that we'll be discussing in our group of Telegram that will be opening for those who are doing the Mastermind Podcast Challenge pretty soon. So if you are doing this challenge, you may be a little bit ahead, or not ahead, it's impossible, but a little bit delay. Like a lot of people write to me, Derek, I am far behind, sorry, but I'm doing the challenge anyways. I am like 10 episodes behind. That's okay. You can still go into the group. It doesn't matter. But I will be asking questions in that group that will test if you are really doing your work. And one of the questions that I will ask someday is, hey, something about related to this book. And if you want to participate actively, and if you want to create community, and if you want to make yourself known in the people that are doing this crazy challenge, well, you need to do the stuff and you need to read the book. I don't know what I'm trying to convince you to read the book. You already know this is important and imperative. You should be reading it right away. This ends. No one should convince you of reading. Reading must be your daily habit. You should skip meals, but never your reading session, as Jim Rohn says. All right. Wrapping up, I'm very grateful with you guys for the continued support of this mastermind podcast. I cannot lie to you, it has been and if you are not doing the challenge, you can proceed with the next episode. If you are not seeing this live, it should be a reproduction list that is called Think and Grow Rich Miniseries, and you can proceed. But for those who are doing the challenge, that sometimes like to, you know, to hear a little bit about my own journey, for these last weeks has been a struggle for me in the podcast for a couple of changes. First, obviously the language. But more than that, I have been traveling a lot. I will be traveling again this Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. This is live right now, but tomorrow I will be traveling again to Miami for developing some businesses there, and also my wife have a conference that she will be assisting there, a conference for success and mindset, all that stuff. So I will be accompanying her and developing some things in Miami that I want to do. But every time that I travel, for me, it's a challenge because I don't know exactly how can I proceed with the podcast. When I was doing the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 1, I didn't travel a lot. One, because I was a student, and two, because I didn't have a very strong business. Now things have changed and I need to travel more. So what I'm doing is sometimes I bring the microphone and I do it in the city that I am at, and sometimes I just pre-record. And I'm thinking that I will be pre-recording at least like 3 episodes, maybe the Thursday one and the Friday and Monday. I think that I will be pre-recording those just to be relaxed and not thinking about that I need to, you know, find internet, find this, find that, find a private place to record. So then I come back live maybe Tuesday. We're gonna continue this series until Friday of not this week to the next, 10 episodes total. And yeah, I cannot lie to you. Now I am feeling a little bit of the pressure of the challenge. In the first 2 months, in the first month and a half, I didn't feel a lot of the pressure. I was kind of flowing and energetic. Now I am feeling a little bit the pressure of this challenge, and that is part of my process. I'm pretty sure that you already feel a little bit of pressure. Every day you should listen to an episode. That is kind of um difficult. Some of these episodes are 1 hour and a half long, maybe 2 hours long. So yeah, you should be feeling also a little bit of pressure, but I don't think it compares to mine because I am the one that is actually doing this stuff, bringing forward the content. And I am feeling a little bit of the pressure, but nothing seriously, nothing like, oh man, I'm gonna quit. Sorry, guys, the challenge is over. No, we are gonna complete this challenge. Um, but yeah, it has been a little bit difficult because of the language and also because of the due to the traveling. But those are obstacles that I will be surpassing, and I want to surpass them in your face, Not like an egoistical or narcissistic thing. No, just because I want to be an example. And I want you to have the opportunity to see me struggling in something. Because people, look at this. People think that I am like an special type of dude. Like my oratory in Spanish is great. My vocabulary in Spanish is great. And people think that that was something that is a gift. But I want to show you a different side of myself. I want you to show you the part of myself that is hustle, practice, effort, discipline, and constantly improving. And that was one of the reasons why I changed the language, because I knew that my English is not perfect. I knew that I have struggling pronouncing with words. I didn't know how to say stove, estufa in English. And I Google it and now I know, right? But I want you to see this process because you are in your own process. And I want you to understand it will be nasty. And I'm feeling the pain, but I'm pushing forward, and I am pretty sure I have extreme conviction, faith that before I finish the Mastermind Podcast Challenge Season 2, I will be flowing in English perfectly. And that will open new doors for doing more worldwide things. Okay? So just watch the process. Enjoy the process with me and respect your own process, whatever that is. I see you in the next episode. And please visit derekisrael.com, derekisrael.com, and just see whatever I have to offer to you. Soon I will be selling my books. I will be doing NFT projects, and I will be doing another projects that have blockchain technology on it. So you may be interested in that. And anyways, just check constantly derekisrael.com. Go right now just to see if there's something that you want to buy to transform your life. See you in the next episode.